typically if you force like the wrong hook for your product, it's harder. You have to like build this longer bridge and you lose more people and you don't convert as well. If you use the right hook for the kind of thing that you sell, it like, it's a lot easier.
Hey guys, back at you again. Casey from Modern Commerce here. John's here too.
Hey Casey, yes, I am here. That is correct.
John's here too. We've got the pace kind of quickened up today because we're going to do another lightning round. Going to cram in a lot of information quickly into a shorter video than typical. Today we're going to be talking about hooks, specifically for like paid ads. And we're going to go ahead and call John a Captain Hook today because he's got some great hook examples for us that he's going to help break down. I think we're breaking it down into 5 hook categories. Is that right, John?
Yeah, I think we got like more than that. I think we got like 6 or 7 or something like that. We got
All
a
right,
few.
man.
So,
Well,
like first up, let's just talk about like what is a hook? How would you define it, Casey? Give me the hook version of what a hook is.
A hook version. That's a large ask. I would say it's a attention grabbing thing at the top of a video asset typically, or really any asset, something at the top beginning that kind of just grabs your attention.
Yeah, let me put it this way. So a lot of times copywriters think of hooks as headlines, right? So, but video people think of hooks as the beginning of a video, or image people, graphic designers think of hooks as like a bright color or something. A hook is just a scroll stopping thing or an attention grabbing thing. So in any format, whether it's a billboard or, email or a newspaper ad or whatever, a hook is just something that like makes people stop and look, right? So if they stop and look, it's a hook. Hey,
there you go.
Did not mean to do that. Okay, so we're going to go into some examples of this specifically on paid ads, on Facebook ads, because I think a lot of times everyone says like, you need something attention grabbing in the first 3 seconds of your video, but like, we don't really go into like the psychology of hooks and the different kinds you can use. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it. And trying to keep this like condensed, full of good stuff. We're going to try to keep it to 2 minutes per example. I'm keeping an eye on a clock over here so that we stick to that. But John, go ahead and you want to lead it off here?
I will. And so with these videos, we're not going to play the whole video if it's a video ad. So we have some video ads, we have some image ads. We're not going to play the whole video because we're not talking about the whole video. We're talking about the hook, which is the thing that makes people stop and look. So here we go. The first up is what we call the satisfying hook. Watching with sound off. 3, 4, 5. That's about all we really need to watch, but there's some more good ones later on that are like still satisfying. So just to go over it, we also use this shot as a hook for this particular ad. So wood being sanded, also used, not that one, but
I actually find that too. Yeah. The
oiling of the wood, we've used that for the beginning. So all of those just satisfying things to look at. The other one is that's like a good example is like drinks being mixed. Like if you have like a drink mix that like looks really satisfying when it's like mixed into the liquid or whatever and blended together. That's like another satisfying hook sort of example. Fidget spinners were essentially started on the idea of a satisfying hook. Like somebody saw someone spinning those things on the internet and everyone decided to buy them. The satisfying hooks. Anything else?
Satisfying hooks is a strong way to lead it off, I'll say, in this kind of topic about hooks, because especially this kind of video, it had multiple examples. And this is like, I mean, some people, like my fiance, she just loves watching like these kinds of videos, like scrolling through Instagram or something. She watches people playing with like putty of some sort or something, and people just watch that. Like it's not even a hook to other content. It's just that's the content. So,
like that's it. Just people. I know. It's like ASMR.
It's powerful.
Stuff. So yeah,
powerful.
Right. Yeah. Like people like watching things that are just like, just like satisfying to watch and look at. There was a time that the Instagram algorithm like really, really favored just satisfying videos. So yeah, Facebook and Instagram, especially the satisfying hook. If you can do something satisfying with your product, just satisfying to look at, is a good one. I've seen examples of ads like with Dr. Squatch, well, where they will have like a completely unrelated satisfying hook. They'll have like a knife cutting through something in the first 2-3 seconds of their video, and then they'll just like go into the video. They won't even explain that like knife cutting through the thing.
And we're at 2 minutes now, so good timing there. Let's move on.
Moving on. Next is probably the best one to use, especially on Facebook and Instagram, and that is the holy cow product demo. And I'm just gonna play it. I've got 2 examples of this. Here's the first one. Topped off by SIOT. I'm gonna play it without sound and go again. So here we go. It's not this show, and they put this in the middle of the video, but they've led with it before too. But it's quick. You ready? Here it is. Boom. Holy crap product demo. Coded versus uncoated. Just showing what if the product does an amazing thing, just show it. Like, this is one of the best ways to sell products on Facebook and Instagram. If you have a product that does something really cool, just show it doing that thing. Here's another one. This is like one of my favorite ones. Let's see, is sound on here? Yeah. You're freaking kidding me? I actually like sound on this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's look at it again. Like, because I think by the end you forget what it looked like at the beginning. That was what it looked like at the beginning.
Yeah, to your point of like with the sound on, it almost loses some of it without the guy kind of saying, "Are you kidding me?" And that look on his face is like, because I think a lot of people look at this and you wonder like, is this real or is this kind of like a staged kind of thing? Like, but his face, like either he's a great actor or this is completely genuine.
Yeah. And then he says in a second, that was there for like 6 days. And he's pretty convincing. So yeah, he could have been an actor, but it feels like genuine UGC for sure. And it feels like a laundry room. Like that is a lot like what our laundry room looks like. The lighting's poor, all that stuff, right? So yeah, I mean, and this one was the Shine Armor one does like a little bit more produced. That's produced. They can be produced or whatever. It's just showing the thing that the product does if it does something really incredible. If you can visually see if it's like a very demonstrable product, just show it. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely, man.
That's the holy crap product demo. Probably the best way to sell stuff on Facebook if your products do that.
Yep. And we're just about 2 minutes here.
Cool. So moving on, the next one, the pain-based hook. And this is a favorite of direct response copywriters, is just leading with the pain that people feel or the thing that they're like is really giving them heartburn. So here we go. I'm going to watch with sound off because this one is hard to watch with sound on.
The arms of an angel. That's one of these make me think of every time.
I know.
Which is a hook all its own, like an audio kind of hook.
Right. Yeah. So we're not even talking about product yet. This is a very heavy, like pain-based hook. And now tried these joint chews. We're 25 seconds in talking about product. So yeah, that is actually common for the pain-based hook to really like, it's the pass method or the, pain, agitate, state the pain. They did that right up front. Each year, 1 million dogs are put down due to joint issues. You have a visual of dog at vet, woman crying, holding the dog, leaving their owners heartbroken as they're forced to say goodbye. Right. So stated the pain. And then we go into a story that agitates the pain. Yeah, this was Mia and her owners didn't think that she had long, and look at her. She can't even barely walk. And yeah, we're not going to watch all this again because
I'll say this about this. I think this is a good example of a hook being a little longer than usual, like longer than we would usually prescribe. But yeah, I mean, here you're roping in the right audience, right? If you're a dog person, you're sucked in by the visuals already, and it just kind of builds up the anticipation more.
And to be fair, I showed more. I would say the hook ends right when we go into Mia's story. So the hook's over now.
That's fair.
The hook is over now. Now we're in the agitate phase of the pain agitate formula. So pain agitate solution is the formula if you're going to do a pain-based hook, if your product solves a problem. So this is a great example of Woofie's is a chew for dogs. They can't do a holy crap product demo. Like their product doesn't do some incredible thing, you know, until you see kind of the after state, right? Like of Mia running around and stuff like that, right? And so in order to do that, we have to show the before state. So if your product actually solves a pain, so think of, you know, if it helps people make money, if it helps people lose weight, if it helps people kind of problem that they have, some kind of fear that they have, that's, you know, the pain-based hook is, it's not a bad play. You don't have to worry about, I mean, you know, I don't know, a lot of people don't like to go to it because they're like, it doesn't feel good. But if that's what your product does, then talk about it. Like how else are you going to solve it? Or how else are you going to sell it? You know?
And
how else are you going to sell it? And if you don't sell it, you're not going to solve it.
Right. I think I forgot to hit the lap button on the last one, so I don't know. I think we went a little over, but I'm going to hit the lap button now, and let's go on to the next one.
Okay, going on to the next one, going deeper down that pain rabbit hole to fear, the fear-based hook. So there are certain things that certain people are just afraid of naturally. Parents are afraid of something bad happening to their kids, especially when they're little, like things like choking, you know what I mean? Things that it's like, you know, it's just one of those things that's like lying in wait, you know, it could happen to anyone. And it just takes a second of not paying attention type of thing. So it took 4 minutes for 911 to arrive. My son would not have survived if it was not for D-choker. There's your hook really right there. That's it. I mean, this right here, it took 4 minutes for 911 to arrive is almost the hook in and of itself, or this like portion in red is what's meant to be the hook. My son would not have survived if it was not for D-choker. Right. And the product itself is called D-choker. So you don't have to really you don't have to describe why he wouldn't have died or he wouldn't have survived. Like it's called D-choker. He was going to choke.
It's a little on the nose. This one is like, it's so powerful that there's like whole, like multiple industries really that like revolve completely just around this angle almost. Like right. Think of like emergency, like the fire ladders you can throw over your window or whatever, like all different kinds of, you know, preppers, like food storage stuff, like everything.
Oh yeah. So I mean, tons of things that people fear, right? Home security is built on this. The slip and fall stuff, like for the older demographic, right? Like it's just that stuff that they're like, once you get to a certain age, you're like, I know I could fall and like hurt myself bad enough that I wouldn't be able to get up, and it would just happen. You know, no one would find me for a while because I live alone. So yeah, like, I mean, there are certain things that, and again, like, don't look, if this is what your product does, if it like helps get stuff out of kids' throats, don't feel bad about playing the fear angle, right? Like your product does two things. One, saves kids' lives. And two, it helps parents like be a little bit more relaxed, you know, and helps that like ease their fears, like things that are, you know, worrying them. So it's not like you're creating a fear that doesn't exist. You're stating a fear that already is there. It's just under the surface.
We're just over 2 minutes now.
Cool. Moving on. Next hook. This is the kind of outlandish hook or the curiosity driven hook. My sister called me crazy for buying these for my baby until she babysat. Classic example of this. This is a straight rip of one of my favorite headlines of all time for a sales letter. And the headline, I think, is everybody laughed at me when I sat down at the piano until I started playing to sell piano like courses.
Piano key neckties, right? No, I'm
piano key neckties, yeah. To sell piano courses. And yeah, we have some other stuff around here, but my sister laughed at me, then said I was a genius. You know, it's all just like curiosity driven. So the curiosity hook, the outlandish hook, kind of have both going on here. You could do something completely different. So we have another one for the same brand that is, you know, my baby wore footy pajamas for a week. Here's what happened. That's more on the outlandish side. This is more on the curiosity side, I'd say, but curiosity, outlandish, they're usually kind of hand in hand. Yeah, I mean, anything to say on that one, Casey? Usually, I mean, the other thing here is the bridge. You do have to, like, you can't just send this to a product page, you know, so where this goes is to like an article that, you know, tells the story, and then it pitches the product pretty early. That's okay, but it bridges from, you know, this idea to the pajamas that she bought, you know, so that it makes sense. Does that make sense?
Like in the actual like the headline there on the ad itself, kind of on the image. I like how you switch the color of the wording just because it's got that reveal there at the end.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Very nice.
And I mean, that's it. It's like if you're going to go curiosity driven hook, you can't just go curiosity to sale. You do have to have a bridge, right? So it can be curiosity like this. You could do the same thing like right at the top of a video, and then the video could be the bridge. Then you could go to product page, right? But you do have to have a bridge of some sort.
And this is still relevant so that the bridge can be small. I mean, you could go crazy outlandish, just like weird, random, but then you got a bigger bridge to build.
Right, exactly. Like if you did, I mean, I'm not even gonna like kind of try and come up with something on the spot, but
I'm sure anybody could imagine something more outlandish that's more eye-catching, but you might have to have a massive bridge.
Then it's a bigger bridge, right? Yep. Whereas here, it's a pretty short bridge till we can intro product, because it's already about how we were crazy for spending so much on footy pajamas, which is also really great positioning if you sell anything expensive, more expensive than that normal thing normally is. So these footy pajamas are expensive that this brand sells, but there's a reason for it. And we get to like hook people and like kind of say, hey, we know they're expensive, here's why. You know, it's like a really good sort of hook to use for that kind of product.
Right, we're a little closer to 3 minutes on that one. So,
all right, moving on. Ooh, this is a good one. A pretty close cousin to the curiosity / outlandish, and it's just kind of the shock and awe. You know, so it could be something gross, or it could be something like what's happening there, or like I'm surprised I saw that type of thing. So kind of a blend of the product demo, the holy crap product demo, and the like outlandish. So I'm gonna watch it with sound. It works better with sound on, but let's see. Okay, we'll watch it with sound on. There were 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I think it just repeats, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And as you watch it more, you only have more questions, right? Like at first it's like, what's happening? And then you're like, what's that baby thinking? And then as you look at it, you're like, dude, is that guy sucking stuff out of the baby's nose?
Which is exactly what he's doing.
Is what he's doing. Like, so this is all, again, it's kind of like a cross between the holy crap product demo and the outlandish or curiosity driven, but the shock and awe, like,
which I would actually say, like, for a brand like this, like, we don't work with this brand in particular, but I could see somebody having the strategy of like, we're gonna lean away from this because, you know, without any context, this could be kind of weird and gross looking almost. But yeah, we're of the mindset like, let's lean right into that. Like, let's just put that front and center, grab their attention with this weirdness, and then let's explain why it was so weird and shocking and
right.
You know, shock and awe.
We'll tell you later. Yeah, and this is funny. They actually send to Walmart, so they're sending to retail here. Okay, next up, probably the most commonly used hook in Facebook ads, and I don't want to say the least effective, but it's like this is kind of the go-to if you don't have any of the other ones available to you. So if your product doesn't solve any kind of pain, if it doesn't help with any kind of fear, if it isn't like a holy crap product demo, or, you know, there's no shock and awe factor, there's no kind of curiosity angle or anything like that. And this is what I just like to call the neon light hook. I'll just call it that and then show it to you. Just flashing, like something just flashy, scroll, like eye catching, right? Flashy, scroll stopping. I mean, so everything about this, the sound, the colors, the movement, it's all just like designed to be like, hey, over here, look at this, right? Like that in and of itself is a hook. Again, it's sort of like, I don't want to like call it not good, but keep in mind that especially on Facebook, like the advice, like I said at the top of the, you know, show is like everyone receives is like, you know, oh, you got to do something attention grabbing in the first 3 seconds. And so people just naturally think of stuff like this, you know?
Yeah. I think like marketing philosophy wise, this is actually like textbook what a hook is, but because of what you're saying, because when you don't have those other kind of angles at your disposal, this gets used more often. So there's kind of that watered down effect because you stand out less by trying to stand out so much using the same play as everybody else.
Right. And in all honesty, like a lot of products that have these other hooks available to them still use this. So yeah, you don't stand out as much, at least in that Facebook, Instagram environment. With it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not bad if it's like, I really need to get somebody to look over here. And if I can just get them to look over here really quick, then I can show them something else that'll like make them lean in a little bit more. So that is the key to making that kind of neon light hook work, is you only get them for a second by doing the neon light hook. Like it's literally just like an eye grabber, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to, in that eye grab moment, make them lean in a little bit more. So if we're showing this again with that in mind, boom, eyes grab, traceable worldwide.
Yeah.
Right? And we're talking about a wallet, right? So, and maybe that's not super clear, but wallet, eye grab, traceable worldwide, 2 seconds.
You know, we only talked about the bridge kind of effect on one of these examples, but really on any hook, there's some kind of bridge that needs to be built. And I'd say this is another one where you're going to need a relatively like strong, longer bridge, because if you're just going flashy lights, like that can't be all that relevant to your actual product unless it happens to be like a lighting thing.
Yeah. I mean, to show the whole bridge here, again, we're
I mean, it comes in right away, right? Like
neon flashy hook, and then there's the lean in element. It's a wallet that's traceable worldwide, and then okay, I'm leaned in enough to click, and then we're going to kind of a like little bit of a content play, the pit in your stomach you get when you misplace your wallet. Never feel that again. So we've got kind of a rehook of like, oh yeah, I hate that, you know, like, and that is actually in the copy here as well.
Just for like contrast to like an idea, like we're not going from that like flashy lights to some like long story based like ad of some guy losing his wallet or something, which could be effective in its own right, but like you kind of lose the effect of the hook, like going into something more like long.
Right. Yeah. And then it's just, you know, so then we bridge a little bit and now we can show product.
Because at this point too, you've earned a click. Somebody's bought in, at least to a certain extent. You can start feeding them a little bit, you know, larger, still digestible pieces of content to kind of prod them along. But yeah, you kind of go from like little bite-sized things to like, okay, let's first serve them a meal now, and then
I mean I mean, so if we're talking about, you know, hooks, I guess apt analogy would be, you know, fishing. So this episode's about hooking fish, it's not about reeling them in. But yeah, I mean, based on how you hook them, what kind of bait you used, the way you reel them in are different because they're probably different types of fish. You know?
Yep. So this is our lightning round episode. We try to keep it quick and short, but I want to stay true to our format, true to ourselves, John. This has been a very informative episode, I think, for probably a lot of people who just hear that kind of general stuff about hooks. We got a little bit more in depth on that. I'm setting you up right now. Go ahead and leave us with a parting shot with some words of wisdom, bro.
Yeah. So mine is like, typically if you force like the wrong hook for your product, it's harder. You have to like build this longer bridge and you lose more people and you don't convert as well. If you use the right hook for the kind of thing that you sell, it like, you know, it's a lot easier. So for example, DeChoker can use a fear-based hook and then just go straight to the product page, right? Like they don't need a long hook because that is the right kind. Like if they were afraid of going fear-based with their hook, then they would have to do, you know, if they did a flashing lights hook, then they'd have to go flashing lights to here's this product and what it does and why it's helpful. And they'd have to do this kind of like longer sales process. Whereas because they go fear-based with the hook, it's like, look, that's what this product does. It solves this problem and it solves this fear for parents. Like, why not just like hit the fear, right? Or Wolfies, you know, if they didn't go pain-based, then they'd have to go into some description of like why you're even going to need this, but go pain-based. And it's like, all they have to do is just kind of pain, agitate. And then it's like, all right, you're ready now. Like you're ready to be relieved of this stress that you're feeling. Right. So I think using the right kind of hook for your product is like probably the biggest key. If you use the right hook for like, you know, what you want, if you use the right hook for the kind of fish you want to catch, the right bait for the fish you want to catch, then it's a lot easier to like reel them in. You don't have to work as hard.
Love it, man. It's like use the right tool for the right job. Hammers are awesome, but they're not going to help you rake your leaves. You know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's going to be a real long process.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, thanks for hopping on with me and shooting this quick video. Love these lightning round ones. We get to kind of condense everything and keep it fast paced and everything. So guys, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon so you get notifications for whenever we drop new videos, and drop us a comment if I didn't already say that. We'd love to hear from you. And that should pretty much do it. Until next time, see you.